working with this same model, the idea of the table, how to dismantle it, you need to challenge the perceived evidence. So with questions like, who told you that? Or how do you know that's true? Particularly if you are working with someone who believes they can't present in public, but they've never actually done it. There's some evidence that's coming from somewhere. It might well be that somebody told them that they presented and they dried up and they forgot where they were and it was really awful. And you're now thinking, oh my word, that's what happens when you present in public. Well, I can't do that. I'm not doing that. And it starts to set up this fear. So you need to know what is the evidence that's holding up this table and where has it come from? So when you challenge the evidence like this, it's as if you're grabbing hold of a table leg and shaking it. You're shaking the evidence, you're challenging it. And the more you shake the table legs, the looser they get until they come away. And incidentally, your table can have any number of legs on it. It might only be 3, or you might have 27 under it. It's no limit to the number of legs. It's all evidence. And when you challenge the evidence, you're shaking the table legs. When you dismantle then all those legs, the evidence that was holding up the idea, the belief, you've now dismantled the limiting belief because it's all been challenged. So suddenly the evidence that was there, whether it was perceived or actual, it doesn't seem to hold much credibility anymore for your client. So that's the output that you get from challenging it and dismantling. Now, it is important that when you've knocked out an old limiting belief, that you put a new empowering one in place, because otherwise your unconscious mind, if it's if a kind of like a vacuum has been left from where a belief was sitting, it will tend to suck in something else to fill that vacuum. So it's good here to decide what the belief is that you would like to have and then build that up. So the next step, how can you install a new empowering belief? So you could be looking for the evidence of somebody else achieving the outcome that you think you cannot achieve. And the gentleman in this picture, this is Roger Bannister, who on the 6th of May, 1954, he was the first in the world to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Now, prior to him doing that, doctors, who should be the voices of authority, had said it was impossible for a man to run a mile in under 4 minutes. In fact, they said if a man were to do that, his lungs would explode, his heart would collapse, and his shin bones would shatter. Fabulous. So who would want to do it then? For goodness sake, the voices of authority are saying all these awful things would happen. Why would anyone want to do it? However, Roger Bannister was a doctor. He was a junior doctor at that time. And in fact, the day that he ran the 4-minute mile, he actually worked a shift at the hospital in the morning and then went to the running track nearby. Obviously, he'd been training for it, but he ran that 4-minute mile in the afternoon. And an interesting thing happened that once he had broken through that limiting barrier that it couldn't be done, within days, other athletes were running a mile in under 4 minutes. And now it's, obviously over 50 years later, it's something like about 200 athletes have been able to run a mile in under 4 minutes. It just needed one person to do it.